What up, Rafaelitos? Welcome back to my channel. We're back out here on the avenue. This is Hadfield Street in Georgetown. Just wanted to do a follow-up on a video I made a couple of days ago, last weekend. And a lot of people complained that they weren't able to hear the video, hear the sound, because of the wind noise. Now we're all battling the same environment out here. I'm filming with an iPhone, right? A lot of these videos are made with an iPhone or an Android or something, so not a whole lot that I can do about wind noise. But people wanted me to repeat what I said in the video so that you could understand what I was saying. So this is the video about Guyana's preparation for Venezuela's invasion, and I was actually going past the army base at Timeri, Camp Stevenson, right? A lot of people also complained in the video saying that, you know, I was filming military sites and this is breach of security. This is not true. Anybody who has Google Maps can find Camp Stevenson or Camp Ghana on an army map. Nobody's going to learn anything new from me just walking past. And anybody who passes the airport passes Camp Stevenson, right? So let's get that out of the way. But the point I was making is that there are diplomatic channels and diplomatic activities that are being conducted to address the Venezuela issue. And one of those is that Guyana is lining up its allies. So you have countries like Ecuador and Brazil coming out and making public statements on the possible invasion of Venezuela. So for example, you want countries who are your allies to at least say that they will not join in the invasion. In other words, they will not join your enemies. So you want to make it clear to your enemies that there are lots of countries that are on your side. So that's part of the diplomatic effort. We know that as I went past Camp Stevenson, I explained that the US military, right, US Army was conducting joint operations with the Guyana Defense Force. So that's one of the points I was making, that the Guyana Defense Force, the second point, is in joint operations with the US military, and this has been ongoing for more than a year. I attended a Army Vendors Day back in spring of 2022, I think, and I was made aware of the various joint operations that the US military is conducting with the Guyanese military, that is Guyana Defense Force. So the whole point of that video was to explain that totally outside of all of the noise, right, that you're hearing from various political parties and so on, there are ongoing diplomatic and support activities with our allies, in this case the United States military and countries like Brazil, which is the largest manufacturer of weapons in South America, and countries like Ecuador and Colombia and so on, who are not going to join Venezuela in this crazy attack, right? Apart from that, I understand that the government is visiting the cities in Essequibo, the towns in Essequibo, and to reassure the people and so on. My whole point about making all this public is that people need to get the facts for themselves, right? The reason why I'm posting this kind of information on YouTube and addressing the issue of Venezuela planning an invasion of Guyana is so that people have that information for themselves. They can make their decision completely separate from the politicians, because we know politicians are not necessarily working in our favor. They're working for themselves, right? The government usually takes care of itself first. And you know, whenever, for example, there's a minister of the government who has a medical illness, they always find their way to New York or to London or to some foreign country where they can get treatment that is not available to the average Guyanese, and that's not going to change in a national emergency like war. You know, a lot of these ministers will end up in New York. So that is one of the reasons why I am posting the videos with this information about Venezuela's pending invasion. And finally, right, to clarify for that video, what I'm saying is that the outcome of an invasion by Venezuela is not a foregone conclusion. There are people who are telling, you know, there are lots of people out there, Guyanese included, who are saying that, oh, the war will be over in 2 days, the war will be over in so many hours. This is not the case, right? The war between Russia and Ukraine has been ongoing for the last, what, 9 years, since 2014, right? When Russia first invaded Crimea. To 2023 today, the war is still ongoing. So it is not a foregone conclusion that Venezuela will simply invade and walk through Essequibo. It's not going to happen as simply as that. So this is going to be a long and protracted war if it happens, right? We're all sitting aside waiting for the outcome of the December 3rd referendum, but we know in the meantime we're making preparations, and those of you who live in those possible areas that could be annexed by Venezuela have the information to make preparations to defend yourselves or to get out of the war zone and so on. And we know that there will be resistance, there will be serious battle, that the army is already deployed, which is the point I was making, the third point I was making in the video. If you looked around, if you looked through the neighborhood that we were walking by, that is Camp Stevenson, you see the place was deserted, and that's quite likely because they're already deployed in the jungle, already deployed in defensive positions, and a lot of that is going to happen between now and December 3rd, right? So it's not going to be a walkover. The whole point about that video is that it is not a foregone conclusion. Venezuela is not going to automatically win simply because they decide to invade Essequibo. So that's the point of the video, guys. So those of you who couldn't hear and probably still can't hear because of the wind noise and so on, apologize for that. That's problems we're going to have to deal with in the growing pains. But the point is that preparations are being made. There are diplomatic arrangements. There are military joint operations, and there are on-the-ground deployments that are ongoing in preparation for a possible invasion of Venezuela. So that's what's up, guys. That's what's happening right now. And as I said in this video and in previous videos, this information is for subscribers of Raffle Nation, that is members, people who've subscribed to this channel, people who understand that we give facts here, we tell it like it is, and we believe you need all of the information for yourself, so you can make a decision for yourself about how you're going to deal with the crisis, the possible coming crisis with Venezuela. So that's what's up, guys. That's what's happening here in Georgetown. We're still on Hatfield Street. If you want to see more content like this, click like and subscribe. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening here in Georgetown, Guyana.